So far, what users can do is they can browse the products, they can add that to the shopping cart. But before they see the shopping cart, I want them to register on my website. Registration and login is one of the common features in any website. ASP.NET Core, because of which, provides one of the default Razor class library implementation for registration and login. That being said, we have to do some configuration to add that. Initially, when we created the project, if you selected individual user's account, then that would already be scaffolded. But I did not want to go that route. I wanted to teach you how you can add it if for some reason later on you want to add identity. So first thing, we'll have to close the application, and let me close all of the documents. First step that we will begin is with the DB context. That is our root database access for our website. In here, we are inheriting from DB context. If you want to use the identity tables with the Razor identity, you have to inherit or implement the identity DB context. So if you do that, and if you hit Ctrl dot, you will see the install packages, and you see Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Identity.Entity Framework. If you do not see this, go to NuGet Package Manager and install the package. What we will do is we'll just click Find and Install Latest Version. That will act same as you will go to NuGet Package Manager and install this package. Identity has been separated out in its own package, so that's why we have to install that. Great, now that the package has been installed, we need to configure our startup.cs to let it know that we are using the identity DB context. If we scroll down, inside the configure services, where we have the connection string, we will say services.add_default_identity. We'll have to do Ctrl dot here. Now here this is not available because we need one more package. That package is not detecting right here. So we'll go to Tools, NuGet Package Manager, Solution. And we will search for Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Identity.UI. So we'll install this Razor package for the class library. Let's install this. Once you do that, if we go back to our startup file, and let me hide this. Now inside the default identity, right here, you can see it is detecting that now. So next thing, right here, you need to define the class. So the class will be identity user, and identity user will be inside Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Identity.Identity This is an inbuilt class and you do not have to create that. On that, you want to add the entity framework. The reason you want to add entity framework is when you add that, it will create the identity tables inside our database. And what is our DB context class? That is application DB context. So that's the configuration that you had to do. Along with that, if we scroll down, we are using authorization. But once you add identity, you have to use add authentication. That being said, make sure app.useAuthentication comes before authorization. If it is after that, it will not work. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of setup that needs to happen. Once you do this, how will the new tables for login and registration be created to database? It's always the same thing. We just add a new migration. I'll call it Scaffold Identity Razor Class Library. Now here we did make change to application DB context, in which now we said we are using identity DB context. Based on that, it will create a migration. You can see what tables it's creating: ASP.NET Roles, ASP.NET Users, ASP.NET Role Claims. All of these tables are related to the built-in identity that .NET Core provides by default. So we'll take a look at that in the upcoming videos, but right now let's update the database. This will create all of the tables in SQL Server. If we switch back to SQL Server and if we expand tables now, you can see lots of new tables have been created. If this does not make sense right now, do not worry, hang with me and we'll figure out everything one at a time.